Hey everybody, how are you doing? I have got to turn that sound down. Whew, that music's loud in my ears. Alright, hey everybody, how's it going? Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. Things are good, then let me know, because that's the only way I know. Hey, pause, it is definitely Friday. There's that stuff coming in. Alright, great. Looks like I have everything set back up. I feel like we're very Treehouse branded today. I have on a Treehouse t-shirt, and then there's Treehouse at the top of the screen, and it's all green Treehousey stuff. So it feels a little overboard today, but what can you do? Some days it's overboard, some days it's not. Alright, pause. Thank you for letting me know you can see and hear me. How's Beam holding up? Are you enjoying using Beam? You've been doing it for several weeks now. How are you enjoying using Beam? Roger Dean, hi, how are you? I saw Freddie Enrique Zagara Diaz coming in from Peru. I think you're my first Peruvian to speak up, so that's awesome. Glad to have somebody from Peru. That's pretty amazing. Melissa Z, we got all sorts of people. I forgot to announce that I was doing this in Discord. Give me just a moment, y'all, and let me announce this thing that I normally announce. YouTube.com/go treehouse, twitch.tv/team treehouse, and beam.pro/treehouse. Weekly stream live now. I had that up so I could announce it, and then I totally forgot to announce it. So that's great. It's one of those days. It was very busy this morning. So, let's talk about what we're going to do. So I mentioned last week that maybe we'd be doing Android this week. Maybe we'd be starting Android. And Ben Deitch, our Android teacher, and I 100% planned to do Android today, and then he remembered that he's flying out this morning on a trip. So that didn't work. So we're not going to do Android today, and he's not going to be back in time for next week's stream, so we're not doing Android next week. Melissa, you're Peruvian as well. That's awesome. So the week of the 24th, so 2 weeks from now, we're planning on doing Android. So if you want to start seeing the Android stuff, then it's a couple of weeks away. So my plan for today is we've got two. I didn't go and do the moving of the state thing. So I want to do that. I want to try and do that today. And then I saw a neat thing here about doing animations in React, so I thought maybe we'd try that. And then yesterday or the day before, Django REST Framework had a new release. They released 3.6. And one of the things that's really cool about 3.6 is it comes out with this JavaScript client that you can include that supposedly makes doing JavaScript stuff easier. So I want to try that out, if at all possible. And then, we're not going to get to all this today. Y'all know that, right? Okay. And then, Andre Almar released this article. Can we just close that? Thank you. Released this article, how to integrate OAuth 2 into your Django or DRF backend. And so I really wanted to cover that at some point as well, if at all possible. Now, I totally say if at all possible because we're probably not going to get to all that. But this gives us something to do, like, say, next week, which gets it closer to Android. This might be a little easier for Ben and I to set up in Android than all the token stuff. So, Jones Gabriel from Nigeria. That's cool. How are you doing? Nice to see somebody from Nigeria. I saw that there was recently, I know it's not Nigeria, but there was a PyCon Namibia a couple of weeks ago, and that was pretty awesome. I'd love to be able to get out there for one of the Python conferences soon. So yeah, that's my plan. I've got a lot of stuff kind of planned. We've got a ton of tabs open, as you can see, and we're gonna just start trying to do at least some of this stuff. I need to drop this out. This doesn't need to be there. So let's get rid of that real quick. And what is this? This is our dashboard. So, got a thing in here somewhere where I do the form. There it is. All right, we don't need that form. So save, and we'll refresh that page. And cool, the form is gone. All right. Now this chart, and the companies and stuff, we kind of just dropped those, didn't we? We didn't really do anything there. I think that's okay though. I think we can come back to those some other time, or just not worry about them. But I still have the thing now where I can be like, that, and it got saved to the database, but nothing changed. So what I want to do is I want to update this whenever that updates. So let's see if we can do that. And I may be completely wrong on this, but I seem to remember there being a thing where if you pushed the state up higher, it would like work its way up. I may be completely wrong on this, but I'm going to give it a try. So, we're going to get rid of that. And we're gonna look over here because I forget what we're doing. Okay, so I want to do like this constructor kind of thing on it. So can I can't split my window, can I? I can. Oh, yes, okay. Sweet, I can split windows. I'm so used to doing that in Vim that when I get an editor that doesn't do it, I just get hopelessly lost. So, let's see, we've got some chat stuff going on here. Let me see what I've missed. Aman approves the plan. I do too. Jamal Dag, you're learning Django basics. That's cool. And you're from France, so great. That's awesome. Somebody from France. And you're learning Django basics. Are you enjoying Django basics, Jamal? Or what do you think about Django? We've got Imraj Kumar from India. Hello, how are you doing? Jose from Ecuador, and Anirudh from India, and Watson Combo from Kenya. That's cool. Aman suggests starting with W3 Schools. I do not suggest starting with W3 Schools. W3 Schools is full of really bad information. But Khan Academy has some cool stuff as their follow-up there. Khan Academy has some really great stuff. I've been using them to brush up on math because I didn't do a whole lot of math when I was in school, which may not be the best idea, but that's the way I did it. So, whatever. Okay, so I can't spell props. There we go. And there's that. And actually, I need to be doing them this way. Just because, like, I want to build up a habit of this, right? Okay. Anirudh, do I suggest C or XML? Those are completely separated things. You may need to know both of those, depending on what you're doing. Okay, so let's do super props, because we have the super props, just in case there's anything there. And so then this dot state, and let's do conditions is an empty list. Let's say chosen. I don't know that we need to hold on to chosen condition or null. I think those could stay. Okay, so then let's also look at over here. I want to open up recent thoughts. Okay, so that's a thought. This one is the one I want to look at here, and I want to bring this back over to this kind of thing, and I want to put thoughts into here. Okay. So then I should be able to take out that constructor, and I should be able to take that out of that constructor. If I did this right. I don't know that I did this right, but we'll find out. Thoughts equals this dot state dot thoughts. And conditions equals this dot state dot conditions. Hey, Legacy Lemons, how are you doing? And somebody from Tunisia. Cool. That's new and different. Hey, look at that. Something failed. I would have never guessed that something would fail. Okay, so why did that fail? Well, okay, whatever. Let's just go back to that. Okay. Sweet. And let's open up our thing here. And we can see our console. Cannot read property thoughts of null. Okay. Let's see. I wonder if I need to do constructor props super props. Like, that seems kind of silly, but that didn't do anything. Okay. Can I read property thoughts of null? Oh, that wouldn't be state. That would be props. Right? Because props, we'd have those props. See, now y'all get to see how much JavaScript I don't know. We got a whole bunch of Friday stuff there. Okay. So that right there that's for the form. Okay. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so that's for the form. So let's try figuring out this form here. And let's say here, conditions is equal to props.conditions. Okay. And let's refresh. Okay, so the things showed up now. Cool. And I pulled them out of here, right? And then, so like, let's say, like, I'm going to add in something new right here. I'm just going to say foo equals bar. And that's on the thought form. So then I want to do alert props.foo. I don't know if this will work or not, but we'll find out. Legacy Lemons, yeah, we should probably we should probably set it up with like some stuff. Cool. So that did come through. That came through to there. Okay. Just making sure that that's working like I think it does. Okay, so what should happen is... What if I did like that? And then down here... Let's see if that still works. Does that still work? That's not working. That's on submit. This is on condition did mount. That, we set conditions to that. See, I was under the impression that it would move the stuff up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's fine. You know. What do I think about a website made with Python and Django compared to something with the mean or the mern stack? I don't really think it matters. You know, like it's fine. It's the same difference, right? So long as you build the code, it doesn't really matter where you're building it or how. Or what language or whatever else you're using. Just build it in something that you know and understand. Okay, so let's start looking up stuff about state. You know, I don't need that thing about Webpack open anymore. I don't really think I need a lot of this stuff open. That one maybe I'll leave. That one maybe I'll leave. No. Okay, React state. Okay, I want to look at this. Okay. So, get initial state. So it seems like instead of constructor, we should do get initial state. So let's try get initial state. And we're just going to return two things here. Conditions is like that, and thoughts is like that. And then let's take out this constructor. Okay. Oh, I needed one more of those. Yep, that's the way braces work. Okay. Okay, so something didn't load, but it still compiled correctly. Okay, cool. Okay, sorry, let me look at some questions here. What do we got? Khan Academy, yeah. And Nikhil is from Earth. That's a good place to be from. I just learned HTML, CSS, JS, and jQuery. What should I learn next? What interests you? If you like the design side of stuff, building the front end, SVG is a great thing to learn. There's a lot more to JavaScript than just jQuery or DOM.js, so picking up React or Angular or Vue.js isn't a bad idea. Legacy Lemons, I'll get to what we're working on in a second. Akak asks PHP versus Python versus Ruby, which should I learn? It really doesn't matter. They're all good. Learn the one that you like the syntax of and that you can find a job in your local area unless you want to work remote, and then it doesn't matter and learn all of them. Somebody from Israel, how are you doing? Nice to see you here. Okay, and then Adida, possibly the best according to you stack to work on with Django. The best stack for Django? Linux, Postgres, and Nginx. Don't bother with Apache, and I wouldn't bother with MySQL because Postgres is a much more interesting thing. Legacy Lemons. All right, so let's talk about what we're working on. We've been building a thing for a few weeks that working on things for a few weeks that it's a web app built in Django for logging how you're feeling, and we then built an API for it, and then we've been building some React components for it to build different little bits and pieces. As you can see, though, right now it's not working at the moment. All right, so let me see where this is. That is there. This.state.thoughts. And what was it that it said? It said, cannot read property thoughts of null. Okay, so let's hop back over here to this thing. Okay. Okay, so we could just use state. So let's try doing the, well, we'll just have to do both of them. Okay, so now I would think, let me comment out that line, and then down here, where was my thing? Right there. Okay, so what does that do, if anything? Get initial state was defined on root element of plain JavaScript classes. Only support for classes using React.create class. Did you mean to define a state property instead? Do I have to do the create class? I thought I could do the, I mean, it really doesn't matter, right? I can do, var root element equals react.create class, like that, and then that would be that, and then function, and then that, and then that, right? I mean, boring, but totally doable. And then here we'd have function, and then it would return that, and, you know, good enough. Okay, so refresh that. Unexpected token on line 36. Oh, because I need that. Okay, and then we still have can't read property map of undefined. This.state.thoughts. Yeah. Okay. The roots aren't loading. Okay. So let's see. I still want to do like here. I still want to say like thoughts equals this dot state dot thoughts. Right? Is that not what I want to do? Pretty sure it is. Bogdan asks, will you deploy this app or expose the API endpoint? Yeah, I'm planning on deploying this to Heroku eventually. It may be a little while, another week or two, but I do plan on eventually doing it. That one. Okay. Yeah. It will eventually be a thing that lives on the internet. And Akak asks, should I learn CoffeeScript? I would say not. Mainly I would say that because CoffeeScript is really only used in the Rails community. It's pretty much dead everywhere else. So I would probably say to just learn JavaScript. Maybe TypeScript. TypeScript is pretty cool. But that's about it. Okay, so this has not gotten any better, has it? All right. Let's go back over here to this state thing. Okay. So in this render div, this.state.name is a thing, right? Return blah 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 blah. Okay. Replacing state. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You didn't actually give me what I wanted. Okay, so we got our hierarchy there. Eric says, I'm 31 years old, grew up in the Philippines, now live in Sweden. Bad at math, do learn fast, very passionate to learn new things, work at an energy plant, sanitizing oil, etc., and you hate it. Do I actually have a chance in the field? Sure. Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing holding you back. I mean, we recently had a guy that our founder Ryan interviewed, and the guy is either late 70s or early 80s. I don't remember which. He's, up there, and he's getting ready to like get into the field. Like he's got a job and he's getting ready to go, or he doesn't have a job. He has the training and he's working on getting a job going. So yeah, I mean, go for it. See, this is the part that's weird. Like, right, use set state. State updates can be asynchronous. That's fine. Back end versus front end, which is more cool? I don't know. I mean, I guess it just depends on what you like doing, right? Okay, here's... See, that's not what I want to do, though. I want to send... Can I move the state thing up? because that's what I want to do. Lifting state up. I should look over on the menu thing. Okay. So state goes up. Okay. So we've got this calculator. Enters an input, and it enters a boiling verdict for the current input. So boiling verdict just says the water would boil, the water wouldn't boil. Okay. So then we get the second thing that swaps between Celsius and Fahrenheit. Okay. And conversion. Okay. So they keep their values in the local state, right? Right. This dot props in the temperature input component. Oh, is that how they're doing it? Okay, let's try this. Let's try useless function. There's a function. And let's just have it do alert high. That's it. That's all it does. And let's actually undo a whole bunch of this. Sorry. Let me get this back to how it was. Because I think I know what I'm doing now. I think. We'll find out. Okay, so I want it like that, and I want to get rid of that. Okay, and then I want to add in a thing here, which is useless function. Right, which is a function that's just going to alert hello. And let's say here, update stuff is this dot useless function. Okay. Okay, so now let me see if this renders. No, doesn't render anything. Okay. React is just dying, and this thing is we can't read property map of undefined, and that's probably because I need to go over onto these and bring in like that thing, and then that thing, and then that one I think will be okay. Yeah, so we're back to there. Okay, cool. So we had some questions, so let's see what we've got here. Grin Flash asks, how long does it take to master front end and back end? Depends on what you mean by master, I suppose. And also what all it is that you're wanting to like, those fields are both gigantic, right? Like, yeah, front end is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SVG, stuff like that. But JavaScript is huge. Like, just on its own, JavaScript is huge. CSS has had a couple of drastic changes in the last week, and coming next week, I think, with the grid spec that just came out. HTML is pretty static. There's not a whole lot to do there. And then if you get into JavaScript doing components and things like that, like React, like we're doing here, that's infinite. It's massive. Backend depends on the language you want to learn. Some languages take a lot longer to learn than others. Some have a lot more applications than others, places where you can use them. So I can't really answer that question until you narrow that down. Sadesh asks, what do I think about Node.js? I think Node's fine. It's not my favorite thing, but it's fine. Yeah. Okay, so what I want to try to do, where was that thing here? Okay, so temperature input extends React component. This dot state equals temperature, which has nothing in it. Okay, handle change temperature to target value. So that will change that variable. Render this dot state dot temperature. Okay, we want these two inputs to be in sync with each other. When we update the Celsius input, the Fahrenheit, blah blah blah, in React, lifting the state up, we'll move the local state from the temperature input up to the calculator instead. Calculator is a shared state. It becomes a source of truth, which is what we want. It can instruct them both have values that are consistent with each other. Okay, so first we replace this.state.temperature with this.props.temperature in the temperature input component. So that render, it was this.state, and now it's this.props. Okay, so I want to do this for recent thoughts. Oh, I don't need that. That was why I had all those outputs. CSS grid spec. It just came out in it just came out at oh, we're not ever using that. Okay, cool. It just came out in Firefox, the grid spec, and it will be out in Chrome, I think this coming week or next week. Okay, so what I want to do here is not... Okay, that's my thought class. I'm not going to worry about my thought. My thought is fine. It's recent thoughts that I need to change. Okay, so this stuff states like that. Okay, so then down here in return, or in render rather. Okay, so really I want this dot props. Props dot thoughts. Okay. Props are read only. When the temperature was in the local state, the temperature input could call the state method to change it. However, now that the temperature is coming from the parent as a prop, the temperature input has control over it. Use it while making component controlled. Just like the DOM input accepts a value and an on-change prop, so can the custom temperature input accept both temperature and on-temperature change props from its parent calculator. Now when the temperature input wants to update its temperature, it calls this.props.onTemperatureChange. Okay, which means that I want to have a thing here where this is, what am I looking at? I'm looking at thoughts. So thoughts is that, and then I want to have on thoughts change equals this dot useless function. Okay. So then I want to have a thing in here, and I'm just going to put it, I'll just put it here. And I'll say on click equals this dot props dot on thought change. I don't think this is enough, but I want to test it now just because. Okay. Nothing? Nothing's rendering. Okay. Okay, so let's try this. Let's add in a new method here, which we'll call handle change. And it will get an event. And it will call this.props.on thought change like that. And this will just be this dot handle change. Yeah. I think that's right. If it's wrong, we'll get an exception, right? We'll get an error. Nothing's coming out. It's compiling. Okay, onThoughts change is a function, and thoughts is an empty array. Okay. So we're getting the props that we're expecting to get. So let's see. I wonder if we can take this thing, component did mount, let this equal this, fetch. I don't know why I'm typing this. Let's just copy it and paste it into there. Okay, and then we'll need to import that one. Oh, we already got it. Okay, sweet. So close the imports, keep that closed. Okay, refresh this. Okay, so there's those. And let's do the on click on here. Or handle change. Okay, this .props.onThoughtChange is not a function. Okay, so we made that up to there. But it is a function. It's this .useless function. We can pass functions around, right? Yeah, it's pointing to that function. Okay, but regardless, we can see that that's a function, right? Okay, so could we then change this to be like update thoughts? And it does this. And then instead of component did mount, we do yeah, that's fine. But this, instead of useless function, is update thoughts. And then in here, let's take out this handle change because we're not doing that anymore. Take out that part. In here, just comment those out for now. Can I do this .props .update thoughts? Or no, it'd be on thoughts change. Okay, I still got the thoughts that I expected to get. I didn't actually render them anywhere. Get rid of that. Right? Okay. So that still seems to be working. React. If I look at my root element, it has all the thoughts in it. And if I look at this one, it got the thoughts there, and it got the function there. Okay. So then, I think I got this figured out. Okay, so let's take out this stuff, because we don't need that. And take out this stuff, because we don't need that. And I really shouldn't even need that constructor, right? Yeah, the props still come through. Okay. So that's nice. That's much simpler. Okay, so now, let's look over here at this one. And this one would be the same thing. On thoughts change equals this dot update thoughts. Oops, not like that. Okay, that goes like that. So now, blah, 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 that and that. That's all fine. That's... yeah, we're not changing those conditions, so I don't even need that one. Because we're not going to change the condition. So this could go back to props and conditions. Okay, so then we have the onSubmit. So it does all that. Return that response, and then I want to call this .props.onThoughtsChange. That's what I called it, right? Yep, onThoughtsChange. Okay. So now refresh. There's my thoughts. All right. Those aren't coming in because I did that there, and I don't really need it there. df space. There we go. And really here, I want to have conditions as an empty list. And that sets that to that. And refresh. What did I do wrong? Oh, because I did this dot props, and this should go back to being this dot state. Okay. Did that work? Yep. Yep. Okay. Cool. So, pretty sure, but we'll find out. Test with notes. Oh, check that out. It worked. That's so cool. All right. I know there's much cleaner ways to do this, right? I could send the note, the condition here, I could send that up to the thing and then have, stuff going on. But I'm not going to worry about that for right now because I got it to work. I got it to do the thing I wanted. Okay. So, cool. Use the default value or value props on select instead of setting selected on an option. I don't care about that. I'll look that up some other time. Okay, so now let's commit this. Thoughts state controlled in parent controller to allow updating from form. Commit and push. Push. All right. ACK says they want to be a front-end dev, so what stuff related to JavaScript do they need to learn other than jQuery? So that depends on what you want to do. Because if all you want to do is what you might think of as like marketing or advertising or more of the design side of front-end, then nothing. You're good. You don't really have to learn anything. You can just learn jQuery, and you will get very far with just jQuery. But if you want to do front-end development, where you're building like the front end of a website, similar to what we're doing here, then you probably want to go learn some sort of front-end library. So you probably want to go learn React or Vue.js or Angular 2 or something like that, right? Okay, so let's try doing animations. Do I care about doing the animations? I don't really care about doing the animations. Let's not worry about the animations. Vortex dude, can you get a free Treehouse subscription? No, I don't have any of those to give away. If I had some to give away, then I would definitely do it, but I don't have any. But you know what? I will talk to our marketing, and maybe we can give away like a free month every once in a while on the live stream. I'll make a note of it right now, and then yeah, I'll see what can come up. So what do y'all think we should do as the next thing? We can check out this new API client that Django REST Framework just came out with. Or we could try to set up this OAuth thing. Now I haven't done the OAuth stuff yet. So this is more of the idea of allowing social authentication for our site, so somebody could log into our site using their GitHub or Twitter or whatever. So they're doing this with Python social auth. What would be really nice is to have the kind of thing where we could do login using another service. Or not using another service, using our own service. So what about Django REST Framework OAuth provider? Is that possible? Maybe. Jay Padilla. All right. So, let's see. Eric says, this looks interesting. Seems like you have to be creative. Good memory and patience is required, although I don't understand it so much. I do get the idea, though. It is very good to be creative. You don't have to have that great of a memory. Memory is not... We'll talk about memory. And patience, definitely. You have to have patience. Django OAuth toolkit. Let's check that out. So memory, do you have to have memory? I don't really think so. Like, I have a tool here that I use called Zeal, Z-E-A-L, and this saves me from having to memorize stuff. Like, I get lost and I'm like, oh, what's that? Django, what is that? It's reverse lazy, right? That's what it is, right? Excuse me, and that's it. Like, I just go look it up. I do my best not to memorize anything that I don't have to memorize. Excuse me. Okay, so let's see. Your Django app exposes a web API you want to protect with OAuth 2 authentication. That would be nice. You need to implement an OAuth 2 authorization server to provide tokens management for your infrastructure. That would also be nice. Okay. Django OAuth Toolkit can help you providing out of the box all the endpoints, data, and logic needed to add OAuth 2 capabilities to your Django projects. Django OAuth Toolkit makes extensive use of the excellent OAuth lib so that everything is RFC compliant. Okay. So, Vortex dude, you want to be a game developer. How should you start? I don't know a lot about game development. It seems like for most people that do game development, they typically build in either Unreal Engine or Unity. So if you plan on building in one of those two, you should probably go learn the underlying language. So for Unreal Engine, that would be C++, and for Unity, that would be C#. So go learn one and or both of those. and then you can start building games. But of course, game development, much like web development, isn't just a single thing, right? There's a lot to game development. You got to deal with sounds and responsiveness and graphics and cutscenes and player inputs and, you know, all kinds of stuff. So I highly suggest learning that stuff. Like, definitely go learn it. But I don't think you have to feel like you have... Like, I don't think you... Game development has a lot to it. So pick and choose the parts that you want to be really good at, I guess. Okay, so we got the JSON web tokens. And... Yeah, let's just look through some of these. Let's look through, figure out what it is that we want to try and do. And which one of these that we want to use. All right, so let's see. Django REST Auth makes it extremely easy to build Django-powered single-page app or mobile apps exposing all registration and authentication functionality as CBVs and REST. Okay, cool. The problem is I don't have a great, easy way of testing this right now. So I wish I had like a oh, there's demo project. Okay. Oh, there's an Angular module. Demo project. Let's go look at this. Okay. Okay, so we've got this one, Django REST Auth, that we could use. Django REST Nox. Let's see. Nox provides an easy-to-use authentication for Django REST framework. The aim is to allow for common patterns and applications that are REST-based with little extra effort to ensure that connections remain secure. It's token-based, similar to the token authentication. However, it overcomes some problems present in the default implementation. So it's using os.urandom, which is not cryptographically secure. Okay. DRF tokens are limited to 1 per user. Secret signing in from multiple devices, right? Requires all devices to be logged out if a, right? 1 token per call. Logged in. Hey, Nevin, how are you doing? DRF tokens are stored unencrypted in the database. That's not fun. And they track their creation time. Okay. Sounds like an interesting one. Oh, I don't want to read a whole blog post if I don't have to. All right, we'll find out. Django OAuth 2.7. Is that all? Is that it? Let's go look on PyPI. Okay, 1.10.0. Oh, yeah, nope. Sorry, Jose. Not using your thing. Custom OAuth authentication for your Django part. Makes reasonable assumptions about the allowed grant types and provides clients with 2 easily accessible URL endpoints. Okay, so we can override stuff if we want to. Okay, so that's cool. And then what was this last one? That was Django OAuth toolkit. Okay, so we've got a few of these. So let's just try setting up... and that's using a third party. Which I don't really want to use a third party. I mean, it's fine to be like, here, go sign up with Twitter, but let's keep it on our own site. So... nope, that's not what I wanted. Alright, there it was. Unsplit. Sweet. Okay, so let's install one of these. This is the... yeah, we're not doing that one. Not right now. Move you over there. Okay, that way I won't think about it. Alright, so let's try that Nox one. because that had features that I liked. So it depends on cryptography. Cool. For OpenSSL. And we have to have the OpenSSL build libraries, but I'm on Windows, and that's statically linked build, so I don't have to do anything extra. Thanks, Windows. All right, so now let's try and get this installed. So settings, project interpreter, and I want to install, what is this thing called? This was Django REST Nox. Django REST Nox 3.0. Okay. Resire, you are welcome for showing off Zeal. Zeal's great. There's another one for Windows that I want to say is called Velocity. I could be wrong on the name there. And there is a Mac one, which is kind of where this whole thing started, called Dash. And Dash is amazing. I really like Dash. So so try that out. So Django REST Nox 3.0.0. Django REST Nox 3.0.0. Okay, cool. Hey, Nirok, how are you doing? Glad to have you around. All right, so we got that installed. Now we need to install it in settings. And we put it into our installed apps. And we'll put it right down here. It's called Nox. And then we got to apply some migrations. All right, so let's stop that. And let's do migrate. And that brings in the Nox database stuff for us. Hey, Glide, how are you doing? You're new to coding, huh? Well, welcome. This may be slightly over your head in some places, but I hope you'll enjoy it and stick around. Narok, without having dealt with either, why would I choose Django over Flask? So that really kind of comes down to what you want to build on your own, right? So, like, if I'm building with Flask, all that Flask gives me out of the box is the ability to route URLs, so take a URL and send it to a particular function, and the ability to render a template. So I can have templates, and I can render those using the Jinja 2 template rendering library. So that's it. That's all Flask really gives me. And while those are fine, there's not... sorry, guys. Itchy nose. While those are fine, they're not often enough to build an entire, like, say, web app, right? If I want to do user input validation, I've got to deal with forms, so I got to go find a forms library. If I want to deal with a database, then I got to go find an ORM, so I got to go use Peewee or SQL Alchemy or something like that. If I want security, I've got to go find a security library. So there's a lot of things I have to go find on my own if I'm using Flask. If I'm using Django, all of those things I just mentioned come with it, right? They come straight out of the box. So I don't have to go find all of those things. So that's kind of nice, not having to do all of that myself. But yeah, so that's it. That's a big part of why you would switch. Glide, we were doing JavaScript earlier. Right now we're checking out Python. So what do I need to do to install this? Do I need to do anything to install this? Okay. So I probably need those. Probably need the URLs. So let's try doing just API/auth. Include nox.urls. Nirok, would you say Django is potentially overkill then for smaller projects? It can be, depending on what you're doing, yeah. It really kind of comes down to what it is you want to do. Let's go look at this URL. Let's see what comes up here. Okay, so we do that, and then we do like login. And that gives us this thing. And we have to post to it. Okay. And that's it. I've got login, log out, and that's it. Okay. And that was to get the API, that was to get the JWT token. I think down here in REST, we should add like the token based auth. Like, I think we need that one too. I don't remember though. REST framework dot auth token. I need to do migrate. So let's do the migrate real quick. So yeah, so Django can be overkill if you're doing a sufficiently small project, but I would say that that's only true if you know the project will stay small, right? So if you know that you're building, you know, something that's just going to do, it's just going to do displaying some data and that's it, right? It's just going to do like one thing. Then that's fine. You don't really have to worry about it. But if you are, if you're doing a bunch of other stuff, like it may grow and change and do this and do that and do whatever, then you definitely want to, probably start with Python or Django, even though Django's larger. Do I not need to put anything in there? I'm pretty certain I need to put... Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So that should include the token one. Okay. There we go. Okay. So now, if I try to go to here, it only accepts post. What do I need to send in? Do I need to send in, like, username? Yeah, okay. So then that gave me back the user. And that gave me back the token. Is that OAuth, though? Like, that doesn't feel like that's OAuth. You can activate token authentication on all your views by adding it to REST framework default authentication classes. If it is your only authentication class, remember to overwrite the login view. Okay, so do I need to do that with Nox? Does it need to be like Nox .auth .token authentication? Yeah? And then method get not allowed, right? Okay, so let's do this again. Username. I guess I did the same thing? Okay. You post code on Instagram, Glide. That's interesting. I Okay. I haven't ever tried posting code on Instagram. So let's pop over here to Postman. Let's see if we can do OAuth on this backend through Postman. Authorization. I can do OAuth 2, and I need to get new access token. Set that as the callback URL in your app settings page. How can I do that? Can I do that? That's a good question. That's a better question. Okay. Callback. Callback. No callback there. Views, it wouldn't make sense to have callback. You have a Python interview in an hour. How do you sound smart? That's a good question. I don't really know. I typically do really badly at interviews, so yeah. I don't know. Good luck. I hope you do well. Why is my Twitter name _fist__? It's a resistance/solidarity, you know, the hand thing. And then the __ is for magic in Python. Okay, so is it OAuth 1 maybe? No. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think that'll work. I can do it. Or yeah, high def. Yeah, if they talk about async, that usually helps. Bogdan says I can do this with OAuth toolkit. All right, let's try OAuth toolkit. Let's. It's not that big of a deal to strip out Knox. So let's go strip out Knox, and then we'll try OAuth toolkit. So there's that, and then I need to come over here and take out that. And then if we do migrate, whatever. Run server. All right, so settings, project interpreter, and where's Knox? There's Knox. All right, let's uninstall Knox. Cool. All right, so let's try, what are we going to try? OAuth toolkit? Is that it? OAuth toolkit. Django OAuth toolkit. All right, let's give this a try. Django 1.77 and REST Framework 3.1. Whew. All right. Okay, so I need to install Django OAuth toolkit. Django OAuth, which I have to spell correctly. OAuth toolkit. All right. And then a fork that somebody made. Okay. Install that package. Okay, so yeah, so double underscores for magic and fist for resistance, and that's about it. OAuth toolkit 0.12.0. OAuth toolkit. Alrighty. So then we got to add it to our settings. I don't think I need that one anymore. OAuth to provider. Okay, and then we need to tell Django REST Authentication to use that backend. Okay, easy enough. Authentication classes. There we go. Okay, so what is this one? OAuth to provider dot ext dot REST framework dot OAuth to authentication. All right, see if I can get the server to run. Come on, server. There we go. And I've already made an API. I don't really want to do the scopes, because everything should just be open at this point. Or not open. Everything should be controlled by whether or not you're logged in. Okay. So to obtain a valid access token, first must register an application. DOT has a set of customizable views you can use to CRUD application instances. Just point your browser at /o/applications. Which, yeah, I'm not sure how... That can't be there. There we go. Okay. It's like, that's not right. Okay, URL R O. That's it. Include OAuth to provider .urls namespace OAuth to provider. Okay. Cool. Okay. Go over here. Click here if you want to register a new one. I do. Okay, so this would be like whatever my app is, and then that kind of stuff. Okay, so now I can do this. I can get a new access token. I set this as the callback URL. Set the name as postman. That's my, so we'll say this is REST. So my client ID is that. My client secret is that. Client credentials, that's probably what I want there. Save. Okay. But then what's my auth URL? /o/token. I don't know what the auth URLs are. authorize. Boom. Nice. Okay. So Oscar asks, what is this project about? So we've been building a project over the last 2 months or so, which is just ridiculous to think about. And the project we've been building... Hold on a second. You gonna work? The project we've been building is one for like doing a daily or hourly or whatever tracker of your feelings. So, you know, how are you feeling today? Feeling good? Feeling bad? You know, feeling whatever. Can I get this to load? No? Something's broke. So we built the project in Django as just a static website, and then we added an API to it, and then we started building a front end in React, or at least a partial front end in React. Something's going on. Hi, Aniket. How are you doing? No access tokens. One here. Add grant. Code. I don't have a code. Okay. I need to do more reading about this, apparently. Yeah, it's weird that I don't have any tokens. Right? Like if I look in here, there's no tokens. There's one application, which is this one. Which let's delete the application. Yeah, I'm sure. Okay. And then yeah, that doesn't exist. Refresh this. All right, click to register a new one. And let's call this Postman. There's my client ID. There's my client secret. Client type. I wonder if I can just leave those blank. I'll just leave it like that. Okay, and then redirect URI should be this. Save. Okay, cool. There's that. All right, so now request that token. Still coming up blank. Let's try restarting Postman, because maybe that's the problem. I don't think that's the problem, but maybe that's the problem. Yeah, I'm getting a 302 on that every time. What's up, Bogdan? Why am I getting 302s, man? This is weird. Okay. Okay, so I gotta add those to settings.py maybe? OAuth to provider. Goes that thing. Alright, scopes. Equals this thing. Okay, so then we've got read. Read scope. Write. Write scope. Groups. Groups scope. Access to your groups. Okay. Okay, so there's that. And then is authenticated. Oops. Okay. Actually, let's do a migrate real quick just to make sure that everything's... Yeah, I don't have anything to run. Okay. Okay, cool. The Vortex dude, I'm sorry, I don't have any discount codes. There's a chance on the stream up in the corner right up there-ish. There may be like a little I. The letter I, not an I. If you click on that, there may be some sort of thing on that. I don't know for certain. Okay, so then what they're showing here is like is authenticated. Okay, so that's on the view sets. Okay. Let's just try this. Let's just see what comes out. Okay, so I want to do Oh, I see how that works. I getcha. Okay. So down here we would have like thoughts, access to thoughts, right? And then we'd come over here and we'd add required scopes equals thoughts, and then permission classes would be permissions.is authenticated and token has scope. Okay, so import that, import that. Okay, so okay, so then hello, Datkin, how are you doing? No token there. Grant, add grant. I have to have a code to add a grant. Okay. So this isn't authorization code. This is resource owner password based. Save. Request token. Nothing. What is it doing? Why isn't that working? So, Dadkin, you're interested in learning to code. What language should you start with? Well, what do you want to learn how to build? What do you want to learn how to code? What kind of coding do you want to do? Because really, that's most of it, right? Is what kind of stuff do you want to learn how to do? If you want to learn how to, build web pages, for instance, then you probably want to learn HTML and CSS and JavaScript. If you want to learn how to build games, then you want to learn, C or C# or something like that. So what do you want to learn how to do with code? You think that should be confidential, not public? Maybe. We'll try it. We can always edit it and try it. Okay. So I don't think that should be client credentials. I think that should be authorization code, but let's find out. Okay. Request token. Nothing. Client credentials. Could not send request. Okay, so that one's definitely wrong. That's not doing anything. That's not doing anything either. What time is it? 11:32. All right. Yeah, it's not client credentials. What if I take off this locally? That didn't change anything either. When I had this as authorization code, let's make that client credentials. And let's make this client credentials. Nope. In case you haven't noticed, I'm just kind of trying everything right now. I think when that was auth code and this was auth code was when everything actually worked. But even then. All right, so this thing's not working. I'm gonna not bother with this one anymore. But I'll figure this out later. So, Mohammed said hi from Qatar. Hi, Mohammed. How are you doing? Pause. Tried that thing. That didn't work. Dakin, you want to build your own website and your own app. By app, do you mean mobile? Like iPhone, iPad, Android phone, something like that? Cosman says, in other videos you had a program you're using to check Python documentation. Can you tell me the name of it? I sure can. It is Zeal, Z-E-A-L, or Z-E-A-L, depending on what you call that letter. There are similar ones to it, though. Alternative2.net/dash. And let's, instead of saying Windows, let's just say all platforms. So, Dash. Yeah, Dash is a, why are you telling me about shells? So let's just do this for Windows or Mac. All right, anyway. Oh, no, not Dash. Yeah, I want Dash, but I want that Dash. There we go. So Dash here is built only for Windows. Hey, it's by Bogdan. Hey, Bogdan. I know you're a different Bogdan, but still. So this is Dash, and Dash is awesome, but it's for Mac only. If you use a Mac, check out Dash. Dash is amazing. If you use other platforms, then Zeal is pretty cool. Zeal works on Linux and Windows. Zeal's the one that I'm using. Velocity is pretty good as well, but Velocity is a bit more nagware kind of stuff. DevDocs I haven't used. CodeBox I haven't used. A lot of these are code snippet managers, so you log your code snippet, and then you can pull it up whenever you need it. So that's kind of up to you on whether or not that's useful. But yeah, so Zeal is awesome, and Velocity is pretty cool too, and Dash is absolutely amazing. So all three of those are great. Okay, so I don't know what's going wrong here. Management commands. Clear tokens. I don't need to clear all the tokens. Settings. Settings are good. Or should be. Advanced topic. I don't care about that. Okay. Glossary. Maybe this will be handy. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. It's so weird. Well, let's just try, what is that? That's Postman's thing. Okay. Let's just try, that's not what I wanted to do. Git shell. Do I have curl? Come on, PowerShell. You can do it. Come on. Come on. Come on. Curl. Let's not try. Let's not even try and do curl in there. Let's go grab git bash. Curl? Curl. All right, cool. So let's try doing this. So I'm going to copy that and then paste. Paste. There we go. Okay. So grant type equals password. Okay, so we got to scroll back over here and we got to change the username, which for my application is Kenneth Love, and the password, which for mine is test password. Error, invalid client. Client ID, client secret. Okay, I need to copy those. So let's go grab those out of Postman. So there's the client ID, which would go there. Oops. Paste. Okay, and then client secret is here. And paste. Unauthorized client. Okay. Unauthorized client. You should obtain your bearer token first. How do I get my bearer token? There's nothing in here that says I have to get a bearer token. Right? Like, if I look here, yeah, if I look here, it's telling me grant type equals password, username equals this, password equals this. I'm following the instructions. So there's not any, like, oh, I need to get this token first because there's not a token to get. Right? Is my client ID correct? RQ, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And my secret's right. Right? Where did the secret start? Secret starts over here. KXYDR. Yeah. So those are right. Okay. Let's put this back onto resource owner as it suggested. Save. There we go. So now I can get an access token. Let's copy those, put those into a Scratch file. That's just text. All right. I suppose really I should have set this as being JSON, but whatever. Okay, so there's my token. Now, why can't I get that in here? See, why don't I get it here? Like, that makes no sense. And I have to get the token to be able to... I have to get the token to be able to... to be able to then use it inside here, because I can't just... It won't let me just create a token. This is really annoying. I don't think that would matter. The secret and the ID are correct. The auth URL is correct. Right? If I go look at that. Yeah. And if I go look at that. That doesn't do anything. But that's fine. So why doesn't this bring up anything? It did one time. Right? Am I still logged in? Yeah. Something broke, but it's logged in. So why doesn't this log in? If I change this to localhost, would that matter? Why would that matter? And now I just get that page again. It is very weird. It's very, very weird. It feels like it should be doing something. If I go look at this, okay, so there's that. Are there any? There's no tokens. There's nothing like that listed. Allowed URIs list. Okay. There's no grants. There's one access token. Okay. So if I add a grant, here, And that token, right, that access token, I don't even know what the redirect URI would be. Let's say it's the Postman one. So today plus a year. Scope would be thoughts. I don't even know what that would do. Yeah, this is very strange. We got about 14 minutes left. I'm pretty sure I'm not doing something right here. Or, yeah, something's weird. Invalid client error. Okay, let's see what you found, pause. No, we've got the URLs. We've got the URLs in there. There is something else wrong, though. That's not what I'm looking for. So, yeah, there's something weird going on. And I don't know what it is. And I don't really think I've got time to track it down right now. So, what I'm probably thinking is... I'm probably going to try something else like this Django OAuth 2 provider. Yeah, let's just try that right now. We've got time to install this. So cancel you. And we can delete you. And you know what? Let's go look here at version control. And where's my diff? Is that my diff? That's my diff. Okay, we can revert those changes. Yep, that's fine. And we can revert those changes. We can revert those changes. And I'm pretty sure, yep, we can revert those changes too. Sweet. All right, so technically nothing's changed. All right, let's go into settings. And let's find that Django OAuth toolkit that we installed, and let's delete that. We've got a bunch of things here that we don't need anymore, but we will fix that as we go. Django OAuth 2 provider is what I need to install now. Django OAuth 2 provider. All right, install that package. 0.2.6.1. That is quite the version number. 0.2.6.1. Zero 0.2.6.1, right? Pretty sure that's what it was. All right. So then we have to add that into our installed apps. So we need provider. And we need provider.oauth. Or I guess it was OAuth 2, right? Yeah. Okay. Modify the settings. Let's not bother about modifying any settings just yet. Let's go to our URLs. Oh my goodness. There we go. All right. So let's do, starting with that, and OAuth 2, and then we'll do include provider.oauth2.urls, and namespace is going to be OAuth 2. Sweet. All right, so now stop you. Let's do migrate if we need to. No module named backends. Well, that's fun. No module named backends. Okay. Let's go look at this on GitHub. Let's go look over here. 3 years ago. Great. That's wonderful. Not working with Django greater than 1.9. Is this about backends? No, it's apps aren't loaded. It's not been updated for 3 years. You can go for an alternative Django OAuth provider, which this one was updated not terribly long ago. Okay. But that's Django OAuth toolkit. Oh, man. Oh, I don't want that one. Why? Why, y'all? Why can't we have nice things? Okay. What was this one? Do y'all remember what this one was? .models.application. What do they do here? Django OAuth toolkit. OAuth 2 provider to installed apps. Django OAuth toolkit to your authentication classes. There was that. Migrate. Okay, so we did that. So then, create the application, set it to public, resource owned, password based, names, whatever makes sense. The application should be owned by your admin user. Okay, yeah. You can if you want, but since this app is going to be living on a public, insecure client, it makes more sense for the client to have it public. Yeah. Okay. We did all that stuff. Okay, so then... Okay, we did that. But then when we did it with Angular... Well, I guess we didn't post and get the token, but we told... Or Angular. We told Postman we wanted to use the thing. Same as the last thing was the token. You pass the client ID, the grant type, the username. Well, you know what? I'm gonna play with this another time. It's just not worth dealing with right now. So, but we've got a thing that we know works. So I'm gonna add this to my live stream. Set of bookmarks there. Django OAuth toolkit. That was the one that we had a thing going. So I'll add that one. Those I'm gonna get rid of. Nox I'm gonna get rid of. Django REST auth. We didn't do this one, did we? Social auth, that's through that. JWT. We've already got JWTs. So I don't think I'm going to worry about that. So what are the API endpoints on this one? So REST login as a post, that returns a token key. Log out. Okay, so that's just basic. That's not something we need. Okay, so we're not going to worry about that. And we don't need that one open. Okay, so the API clients we're not going to worry about for right now either. Okay, so we got about 5-10 minutes left. This is when I usually like to stop and let y'all ask questions. So let me know if there's any questions that you have. What your thoughts are. Let's go ahead and undo all of these. Yeah, just revert all of that. Sweet. And then back over here, let's go back to run server. And if I refresh this, we got our stuff back. Okay, cool. Everything's there. Bogdan, it is open source. You can go to, let this page load. You can go to github.com/treehouse/livestream Django feelings. And you can submit pull requests or whatever. We've got some issues here, which were all opened by me and are probably never going to be filled. There's a pull request here from Zed that I haven't had time to clean up and merge and everything, so apologies for that, Zed, but I will. So yeah, so you can most certainly come here and contribute, submit your patches and your pull requests and your issues and your whatevers. And if you get the thing working, then that is awesome. Please let me know. I'd love to see what it was that I was doing wrong. And if you don't, that's cool. We'll work more on it next week. So my plan for next week is to get everything cleaned up, get stuff deployed, hopefully. So that the week after that, when Ben can join me, we can start building the Django or the Android application, and things will just be smooth and awesome. Hey, Dark Dev, you got here about 2 hours too late. You just got 2 hours earlier, man. 2 hours earlier. That's all. So yeah, and pause. The OAuth gods definitely were taunting us. That happens a lot with OAuth. OAuth is not the nicest, friendliest thing ever. OAuth is weird. Even when OAuth works, OAuth is weird, right? So the fact that we didn't get it working, I'm not too surprised by. But we'll get it. We will get it. One of these days, it will all be working. So we're going to build the Android app with Ben. I don't know if I'm going to be driving or if he's going to be driving. One of us will be in charge. What would y'all like to see, actually? We got a couple minutes here. When we get to the point of building the Android app, I cannot name the thing correctly. I almost called it Django and Angular. When we get to building the Android app, would y'all rather see me build it, knowing basically nothing about Android, and Ben hanging out, helping me, telling me what to do? Or would you rather watch him build it, someone who knows what they're doing, and I'll be there to ask questions as a beginner, to answer questions about how the app is set up, and to field questions from all of you in chat so that he can concentrate on building the app? Which one of those would you rather have? Would you rather have me build the app or have Ben build the app? Either way, we'll both be involved in the stream. We'll both be here. So let me know what you think there. Dark Dev, I should live stream more than just once a week. Once a week's quite a bit. 2 hours a week is quite a bit of work. So I don't know that I'd be doing more than 2 hours, but we'll see. You never know. I've been thinking about doing some video game streams, which I know is totally not programming and totally not the same thing, but y'all could still chat with me at that point if you wanted to, I suppose. Brian Knight, not the bee's knees. What is not the bee's knees? What's not the bee's knees? Security researcher was able to run code on Facebook servers recently using a flaw in OAuth. Really? I haven't heard about that one. That's pretty cool. I saw somebody posted a blog post yesterday, day before, about if you go to wow. You go to Google Maps, right? And if you see this stuff here, this data, so there's this big long string right here that's all separated by exclamation marks, right? And that's what Google's using to track what they should show you and where stuff's coming from and all that. Somebody figured out how to deconstruct that back into the instructions that are getting passed around in whatever the format is. I can't think of the format name. Anyway, they figured out how to turn it back into the message format, and then how to inject their own messages into it so they could do cross-site scripting through Google Maps URLs. That was pretty cool. Google has fixed it. It's no longer a thing. And that's why they blogged about it. So, yeah, so it's pretty cool that something as simple as this packet of just messages, this packet of data that Google's passing around between servers is vulnerable to cross-site scripting. So I'm not surprised that somebody was able to get Facebook's OAuth to do nasty things. Yeah, Brian, OAuth is not the bee's knees. OAuth's a pain in the butt quite often. So, Brian, you're saying number 2, you're wanting Ben to build it? Number 2 was Ben building it, right? And Dark Dev wants me to build it. You know what? I think we'll put up a poll on Twitter. We'll put up a poll, and maybe we'll put it on Facebook as well. And y'all can vote on whether or not you want me to build it or you want Ben to build it. Or maybe we trade off or something. I don't know. We'll find out. Yeah, Brian, you're on YouTube, so you've got probably a 10-second delay between you saying something, or between me saying something and you hearing it, or you typing something and me seeing it. So the delay is kind of annoying. There's less delay if you go to beam.pro. There's much less delay there. It's okay, hey, pause. Are you listening? You paying attention, pause? Pause. As soon as you hear me say this, I want you to type and enter the number 5. We'll see how fast this comes up. Now, I'm not on the FTL servers on Beam, but even without the FTL servers, Beam is pretty fast. And I do need to try to get on the FTL servers. I'm not sure what I need to change for that, but I need to get on there. Thinking maybe pause wasn't listening because it's been a little while now. It's fine. All right, so I think I'm going to call it quits for today. I will be back next week. We'll be building... We're going to finish up the OAuth stuff. We're going to finish up a few other things. We're going to get stuff going. And yeah, we'll do more stuff. So thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for being here. And yeah, pause and stuff is coming in a little slow. So I gotta get Beam up to speed. I gotta get going faster on Beam. But anyway, or maybe it's just the restream chat. Maybe the Beam chat's faster. I don't know. Oh, one more time. Okay. All right. Pause. Send the number 7. Oh, you're making me look like a liar. Pause. Oh, this is horrible. It's looking like I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, Dark Dev. Yeah, so Ludum Dare. My friend Owen and I are talking about doing Ludum Dare using the Rust game engine GG Easy. There's a really good chance we won't actually build a game that plays or works or does anything. But we'll build something. There shouldn't be a bigger delay on Beam, pause. There should be a smaller delay. But I need to get on the FTL servers. And yeah, Dark Dev, if we do that, we will be live streaming at least parts of it. We may not live stream the entire, 48 hours, but we'll live stream some of it. Are you typing the word 7? I just mean like the number 7, but that's cool. All right, I gotta go though. I got stuff to do. I got so much stuff to do. But I will see all of you next week. Thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can always come to teamtreehouse.com to learn stuff if you need to. We teach all sorts of cool things. So I hope I'll see you all around. I'll be back next week. So have a great weekend, everybody.